as always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Well, this is a bit of a continuation of the baseball talk, but I had to single him out and give him his credit. Winner of the week's Cade Horton. After his last two starts, with all the eyeballs that he's had on him in baseball, Major League Baseball draft coming up. Unfortunately, he is draft eligible, and that kid made him some money. His last two outings have been incredible. After having the surgery, working into it, getting that slider down, that fastball 96, 97 slider and curveball combo is just unreal. He was placing it. He was comfortable throwing 96, 97 through 100 pitches, was just locked in, had great command. That kid made some money out there his last two starts. What? 25 strikeouts in his last two starts, something like that. It's crazy.
For those of you that don't know, at one point he was an Ole Miss commit. And to go out there, right, with, hey, it's win or go home for Oklahoma after they just put up a 10 spot the night before, and you set the Men's College World Series final record for strikeouts with 13. That's big time. And I think if you ask Skip Johnson, he'd do what he did again, and he'd do it every time. But there's got to be a lot of OU fans. I think it's only natural to wonder what happens if you just keep rolling with him. And I know the pinch count and the Tommy John surgery in his past, right, that Skip would do it 100 times out of 100. But there's a lot of us wondering what happens if you just keep 9 on the mound right there.
Well, here's the thing. He went 7 1/3. I think 13 Ks, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks. Isn't that right?
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, that's incredible, and didn't get the win. So that tells you kind of everything you need to know right there about, you're not playing a complete game. Just couldn't get enough runs in there to matter, couldn't generate enough offense, but he's the winner because that man made some money over his last two starts, without a doubt.
Yeah. Peyton Graham may have lost some. Cade Horton made it all.
Yeah. Well, it was weird. Do you think the spotlight got
I don't
to
know,
Peyton Graham
man.
a little bit?
It was that, or people figured out he can't hit a curveball.
Yeah. Well,
that was the rumor coming out of that. What was it? That Gainesville Regional. But that was kind of, people are saying, hey, you just throw him a bunch of off-speed stuff, and I don't know, but
with the curve.
Good movie. I enjoyed that. Did you like that movie? I liked that movie.
It's been a long time.
It's trying to remember. Sound, Ted. He can hear it.
Is it the was Clint Eastwood in that one?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking of the same movie. Okay. Yeah, it was good. It's fine. Not bad.
It was fine. Who do you have? Yeah, Cade Horton's going to be rich, and hope OU fans enjoyed him because there's no way he comes back, right? I mean, that would just be, I feel like it'd be irresponsible.
Well, if he comes back, he's not eligible again for the draft until when?
I'm not even going to pretend I know all the baseball rules, man. It's
hard.
It's something like 3 years.
Really hard.
Yeah,
because he's a draft eligible freshman or something that I guess it's not typical. But if he didn't go, I think he's not eligible for like a couple more years after that.
Yeah, isn't that how it works?
I think so.
But clearly, big baseball guys right here. We've talked to.
Hey, in our defense, I don't think anyone knows how the baseball draft works.
Yeah, the interference rule is stupid. The way the draft, I actually kind of like the baseball system with how it works for the high school kids and stuff. But there's just too many rules. Or I was trying to read about Aaron Judge's arbitration, earlier this week. I was like, this system
arbitration is crazy.
It's insane. Now
I don't know who
him and the
came
Yankees
up with
worked
that
it out.
system. Yeah, that system is wild.
All right, sir, tell me what I'm worth. Like what? It's just weird.
Well, that's why that's why it's a home run or strikeout league. It's because everyone goes to arbitration. It's like, yeah, you don't hit enough home runs. Sorry, you're making what you should make.
Sorry, that's a bummer. But I'm sure Aaron Judge is about to be very, 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 very richer. All right, who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Well, I had to skip away from sports a little bit. I saw this and I was fascinated by it. Ben Affleck let his 10-year-old drive his Lamborghini SUV. I guess he let him sit in the driver's seat. I don't know. But they were like out. They weren't like in his driveway. They were out somewhere and he backed into another car like a BMW. How does that happen? How can you let your 10-year-old drive your Lamborghini and back into another car?
I don't know. First of all, I'm looking at a picture of it. The Lamborghini,
it's the yellow one, right?
It's bright yellow.
Yeah.
Which you rent a bright yellow Lamborghini to drive around in. That's an interesting choice. I'm over here written minivans, Ted. And we've got Affleck, who's written Lamborghini SUVs and letting his 10-year-old drive it. You talk about differences in the world.
The 10-year-old's going around to check out the damage.
Just incredible. Incredible picture.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Bright yellow Lamborghini SUV, which, we could get into that if we want. Like, what's the point in buying a Lamborghini SUV? That's, I don't know. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's amazing. But if you're going to spend that kind of money, you're getting a race car. Get the supercar. But I don't know, man. I had to question Ben Affleck a little bit, a lot of bit, letting the 10-year-old into the driver's seat of the, I don't know, at least I'm guessing $500,000 Lamborghini SUV.
I try to gather parenting things. I try to absorb as much as I can from other parents. Like I want to learn and gain knowledge from their parenting wisdom. I now know not to let my son drive a car when he's 10 because that seems stupid. And now I know. And I don't think it would have crossed my mind to ever let a 10-year-old drive a car, but now I know for sure. Don't let him do that. Nope. That's a no.
I mean, it's questionable to let a 10-year-old drive a golf cart, much less a Lamborghini.
Yeah. I'm really just worried about this new development with my son that started about a week ago. He will now only eat pretty much with a fork. And I'm not talking a kid's fork, Ted.
He wants a big guy fork.
I'm talking he wants a grown adult fork with some weight to it. If you hand him one of the like plastic kids forks, he gives me the side eye and he just kind of tosses it.
Discard.
And he looks at me and he's like, we did, the smash cake, right?
Yeah.
We had his first birthday party on Saturday. We did the smash cake. He just looked at me. At me.
Give me a fork, bro.
It's like, where's my fork? As soon as I hand him a fork, he starts digging into the cake, eating it like a sophisticated guy.
That's
I was like, what
amazing.
It was, people were like, oh, did he get it all over him? I was like, no. It all went in his mouth because he was eating it with the damn fork.
Next thing he's going to be looking for you for a razor and shaving cream. Just, like, come on. Where's the utensils?
Next thing he's going to be like, Dad, where's the Lamborghini for me to drive?
He's on the right path. I mean, he's got the dexterity down at 1, and that's not a small kid.
Yeah.
It's a large kid.
98th percentile in weight, like 93rd percentile in height. I know, shockingly.
I saw the picture of you and your wife with him on the court down there in Dallas, and both of you are very tall, and she was like holding him like kind of like this. It's like I mean, he did not look like a 1-year-old. It was pretty cool.
Now that we've given you all the latest updates on my 1-year-old son, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma, tailored solution for all your personal and business needs, checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
And if you're a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing, head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year-round. Remember, in 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan, and became the first American distillery to win that competition. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners, yes, they are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the weekend, thought about going with the Detroit Pistons. Thought they had a really good draft. I mean, the fact that the Kings, they're still the Kings. They didn't take Jaden Ivey with the fourth pick. They let him go. Let him go to 5 to Detroit, and Detroit gladly took him at 5. I also like the trade up to get Jalen Duren at 13. You start thinking about the rebuilding process under Troy Weaver, who used to be in the Thunder organization. There, Detroit, with, I mean, you think about Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham and Sadiq Bey there in that backcourt. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Man, I love Ivy. I love the energy he brings. So I'm excited for the good people of Detroit.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've been competitive, man. It's been a long while since Detroit's been competitive. They had a nice little run there, early 2000s, but man, and that place was crazy for Pistons basketball whenever they were as good as they were. And I know it's been a long drought. Be nice to see them get back and being competitive there in the East.
Yeah, but my winner of the weekend, the Oklahoma City Thunder, baby. We haven't been able to recap the Thunder's draft. Big moves made by Sam Presti. They end up with 4 picks in the top 34. They ended up with 3 picks in the top 12. And they give up 3 first rounders, right, to get Ousmane Dieng from the New York Knicks. I love how Presti kind of framed it. He was like, actually, we wanted 11 and 12. We knew the 2 players we want, so we kind of viewed it as those 3 picks to ensure that we got the 2 guys that we want. And they did. I mean, you look at them getting Ousmane. I think that's how it's. Am I saying that right? Ousmane?
It works for me. Yes, you're saying it right.
Okay, there we go. OD. Ooh, that's a good nickname.
I like that.
OD. But so you get OD at 11. And then you get Jalen Williams at 12, and it seems like there's a lot of excitement within the organization. Of course there is, because you got the guys that you wanted, but Chet Holmgren at 2 is the big one. And I know, surprisingly, Jabari Smith was there, but for me, I was actually happy that Paolo Banchero went first because he was my favorite player in the draft, and it was going to hurt my soul for the Thunder to pass on him and take Chet. So I didn't have to go through that experience, which was nice. But as far as the Thunder taking Chet instead of Jabari Smith, listen, man, I'm going to trust Sam Presti. You know, when he's been drafted in the top 5, been pretty damn good. So if he thinks Chet's going to be, you know, an all-star caliber player, you know, possibly all NBA type player, seems to fit really nicely with Shea and Giddey. We'll let those guys create, space the floor for him. You know, adds the rim protection defensively. But most importantly for me, Ted, Chet Holmgren wanted to be here.
Yeah, that's always critical.
I mean, you heard him say it in his presser when he got to Oklahoma City, right? He said, now that I'm here, I can officially say this is where I want to be. And I know when I heard that, I was fired up, and I can't imagine other Thunder fans weren't fired up when they heard that, because we want the guys that want to be here. Like, Oklahoma City is a special place. We understand it's not for everybody, but it's for Chet Holmgren. And the second he said that, he's one of our guys. He is. There are going to be a lot of 7 jerseys sold because of that statement alone.
Yeah. I like it. I like the pick. I've got some questions about him, but I see the skill. I see the talent. I'm not too worried about like how lean he is and putting on weight. I think that stuff's going to come as he matures and gets old. They're still a young kid, but he's got a ton of skill. And, you know, they're starting to quietly put together a really talented lineup. It's a different lineup, but it's super talented, and it just kind of plays to that positionless type of basketball that, you know, that you started to see in the NBA, where you're getting a pretty decent group of guys that can do a little bit of everything and play in some different roles and handle the ball and shoot the 3. So I like that pick. I'm excited about it. That's the one I wanted him to make. And because I think it's the most interesting, and I think he probably has the highest ceiling. I think some of those other guys that are maybe better ahead of the game athletically right now may have an easier transition, but I think he's got a higher ceiling.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I kind of like the way he carries himself. I like a man that carries himself with confidence. Yeah. And you got to be confident to wear that suit to the draft and to wear the dice iced out necklace. I mean, you gotta be confident to rock that. I mean, you absolutely have to. So between him and OD, I'm definitely gonna keep calling him that. That's an awesome nickname. But a 6'10" Frenchman that played in Australia. That I mean, I think he's got a long way to go shooting the basketball. But when it comes to his ability to handle the ball, everything I read and watched looks like he's got the athletic profile you want a guy to have. And then they drafted 2 guys named Jaylin Williams. I mean, what are the odds, right? You draft 2 guys named Jaylin Williams, and I know one's going to go by J-Dub and one's going to go by J-Will, but I just want to call the guys by their names. But I guess funny. They said no one really calls him Jalen. So J-Dub went to Santa Clara, 6'6", versatile guard, shot 40% from 3. How about that?
Nice.
We actually got a guy that could shoot. And then the other guy is from Arkansas, J-Will, who I think you and I are both going to really like this guy. I talked to a couple people about him. He's like 6'9"-ish, 240, super physical. Sam Presti described him as a blocker/tackler in the presser. And I was like, this sounds like our guy. And
I like that.
I read something, the best charge taker in the draft, according to Kevin O'Connell from The Ringer.
Okay.
So seems like an effort guy. We love effort guys. We're football guys. We love effort guys.
Love effort guys. Love high energy guys. Love blocker tacklers in basketball. You always need some of those guys on your bench. No doubt about that. I like it. It's a pretty it's a pretty sweeping draft, except for name wise. That wasn't very sweeping there, kind of isolated that, but everything else, I like it. Exciting.
Yeah. It is exciting. I'm excited for the future of Thunder basketball. And maybe this year they only win, 30 something games, but it feels like they're going to be really good. in the not too distant future. And that's fun.
I agree. I agree.
They've got one of the best young cores in all of basketball, and we'll see if it all comes together. But I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Going to make next year weird. It's because they're probably going to be good enough to win some games next year, right? And you're going to be like,
but the thing for me is, remember, the way the lottery is, like, the 14 worst records are in the lottery, right? With how many first round picks they have, I'm okay with them winning some more games if, because maybe they have the 10th pick, their 11th pick. He's got so many picks to throw in to move up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at some point, you can only have a certain number of guys on your roster. You can only pay so many guys.
Yeah. And building through the draft is such a long process, and you can't miss, you just can't miss. And I just hate the purgatory of, not playing good enough to make the playoffs, but not being bad enough to get into, because a lot of these drafts in the NBA are like a 5 or 6 player draft, and then after that, it's just, you're kind of, you're throwing at a dartboard guessing on some guys. And I know there's going to be value picks in there in every draft outside of those top 5 or 6, but I'm just saying, like, it gets way more difficult. So I'm for them to start winning some basketball games, and we'll see what happens.
I think we all are. I think 2 seasons of watching what we've watched, we've been through enough. We deserve to watch this franchise win some games. And I will say this, I've been going back and forth. I think it's spelled Dieng. Ousmane, I've heard a lot of Jang, like it somehow is a J. Is that what we're going with? Because Dang, or are we going with the Jang?
I think it's Jang. And the
I
only
agree.
reason is, whenever we did the draft special the other day, that's how he said it. And because it's spelled the same as like Luol Deng's name, right? So whenever he said that, it kind of hit me, and I was like, huh. But he seems to know what he's talking about with the kids, so I'll give it to him.
Luol Deng is Deng.
Oh, it's DE?
I believe so, if my memory serves me correctly. And then this is Ousmane Dieng, Dieng. So we got to get the names right. Yeah. Now there's J Dub and J Will, but we got to get the French guy's name right.
I think you've got it though. I think.
Okay.
Dang. I think
it's been established. Right. I think I might have said Dang earlier, but I was indecisive. I was going back and forth. I'm sticking Jang. Final answer. Let's go.
Boom. Nice.
A lot of people, that is an upside selection. And the fact that Presti gave up what he gave up to go get that kid makes me real excited.
It's not a Presti draft until he takes a foreigner no one's heard of.
I'll say this.
Pronounce their name.
I'll say this. At the very least, he turns into like an Andre Robertson type guy.
Be good.
Which you would hope he can shoot a little better than that. But he's got the length, the athleticism, the defensive mentality. Now, he's got a long way to go. What is he, like 19 years old? So we'll see. But like you said, exciting times and ready to watch him win some games. All right, for my loser of the weekend, thought about going with Bryce Harper. Ouch. Hit by pitch, and it breaks his thumb. And that sucks. But the reason I brought this up, he had an all-time quote after this all went down. Because last year, remember, he got hit in the face with the ball. And he only missed a couple of games from that. And this was the quote from Bryce Harper post-thumb break. I kind of wish it would have hit me in the face. I don't break bones in my face. I can take 98 to the face, but I can't take 97 to the thumb. It's a fantastic post-game quote.
God, just brutal. I can only imagine how bad that thumb had to have hurt getting hit with that. there's some things that you can just picture, like there's worse injuries. There's no doubt. But just getting your thumb crushed by a 97-mile-an-hour fastball and breaking it, it just has to hurt so bad. And it's going to have a heartbeat for a week, and it's not going to feel good.
Yeah. No, thanks. I'm good. Don't need that in my life. I'm good.
Brutal.
Also thought about going with Skip Bayless. Did you see the Russell Westbrook tweet?
He's had enough.
He's fed up. Don't call the man Westbrook anymore, Skip Bayless. If you didn't see it, Russell Westbrook is told Skip Bayless to watch his mouth and said to not say anything on Twitter that he wouldn't say to his face, which was absolutely hilarious. But also, Skip Bayless had to see that and be like, I've won. I've broken him.
Finally. Yeah, that's what he's trying to do. And we'll see what he does. It could be interesting to see if he backs off a little bit.
That will be interesting. I've got a feeling he won't.
Yeah, I probably won't.
But my loser of the weekend, the Brooklyn Nets. It seems like that whole thing's falling apart, man. So this is the most Kyrie Irving thing ever. He gives them a list of teams he's okay going to if they were to like do a sign and trade, right? And on the list, it was the Lakers, the Clippers, the Knicks, the Heat, the Mavs, and the 76ers. And the list is a little odd because like none of these teams have any cap space. And there are several reports out there that some of the teams on the list want nothing to do with Kyrie Irving, which makes it even better. But he's like, here's my list, just in case. And all these teams are like, whoa, man, you don't bring us into this, which is fantastic. And I guess Kyrie, he's got to decide this week if he'll opt in to that final year of his contract or if he will opt out and become an unrestricted
Is he
free
super max? Is he like 45?
Oh yeah. Big money guy. But there's the Kyrie situation for the Nets. And now there's the Kevin Durant situation. I mean, that is a new component of things for the Brooklyn franchise. Reports that he's lost confidence in the Nets management. And now I guess he's monitoring the whole situation with Kyrie. Maybe he thinks they mishandled the whole Kyrie thing. Reports that he's not recruiting anyone in free agency to Brooklyn. Does not sound like things are going terribly well for the Brooklyn Nets right now. And I saw there's a lot of people firing up the old trade generator, right, for Kevin Durant to get him out of there. So what's
his contract status?
He just signed an extension with them last year, so he's got like 3 more years. Pretty sure.
They're not going to trade. There's no way they'll trade him, right?
I don't even know what you could trade him for. I've heard some people think that maybe you go to Toronto and you ask for Scotty Barnes and some picks and maybe another player or something, which, okay, I don't know if Durant wants to play in Toronto, but or go to maybe ask New Orleans if you think you can fix Zion's health issues. Maybe you ask for him and some picks and a couple other players or something. But it's Kevin Durant, man. Anything you trade him for, you're going to have to get an absolute haul back. It's Kevin Durant.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I can't believe they would. I mean, he may be pissed, but if you're the owner, you go and fire the whole management before you trade Kevin Durant away.
If you're the owner, you go, hey, Kevin, we brought Kyrie here for you, man. The guy's insane. We did it for you. And it just hasn't gone well. He doesn't want to play. And Ben Simmons.
Now, what do you mean we mismanaged the Kyrie thing?
Yeah.
Maybe you mismanaged the
Kyrie
thing. You
told us to get him.
It's kind of nice to be able to do that and not have any consequences with it.
Yeah. It's also hilarious. Ben Simmons is on that team when we're all just like, we've just forgotten about him.
Well, yeah. I've totally dismissed him as an NBA player altogether.
He's on a team with 2 really talented guys that just don't seem to want to play much basketball.
Yeah, man. Sorry, Kevin. Should have stayed in Oklahoma City.
Should have stayed, man. We loved you. Someday we'll love you again, man. It's starting to fade a little bit. Not really, but hey, if the Thunder could put a package together
I'd
for
welcome
him,
me back. No problem.
and if you're someone, go, no, there's a plan. Listen, man, when Kevin Durant's healthy, it's him and Giannis when it comes to being the best players in the league. It's really not an argument.
It's crazy. He's getting old though, man.
Yeah. Getting banged up, missing games.
Quick. Yeah. Happened quick.
Played a lot of basketball. Plays too many minutes for them. I think that they mismanaged that a little bit, maybe.